Dear students, I welcome you all for this video presentation on report writing prepared by the Department of English, Common College of Engineering, Salem. So first, let us start with the idea of report. So what is a report? A report can be defined as a short, sharp, concise document which is written for a particular purpose and audience. So we can know that the report is aimed for a particular set of audience. It generally sets out and analyzes a situation or problem, and it often makes recommendations for the needs to be clear and well structured. So it should be clear and well structured. It gives the solutions for a particular situation. The requirement and content of the report will vary between organizations and departments. One might ask, are all reports the same? Do all reports have the same structure and format? Like we discussed, every organization is different and every situation is different. Thus, the reports will also be different based on that. So the reports also can change based on the subject. So it is important to find if there is any particular guidelines in the organization where you might be working before starting the report. So you should go through do a case study and find out if there is any particular specific format that is used for creating reports in a specific organization for you to do the work. So how can we define a report? A report is a document that presents information in an organized format for a specific audience and purpose. Like we discussed, the audience is specific. It is not open for everyone. So a specific audience will be expecting the report, and you should keep it in mind, and it should be well organized, and there is a purpose for the report. Although summaries of report may be delivered orally, complete reports are always in the form of written documents. The final version of a report is always in written or printed documents, while the presentation or the summary of the report can be done orally by the employees. A report is a written statement of facts of a situation, a project, or process, or test. It could be anything. The report about a situation or a project or a process or test. It also gives the facts found, their significance, the conclusion arrived at, and the recommendations made. The systematic development or of the organization or a particular project will be explained in detail in a report, and you can understand how it gradually came to a conclusion, and it will end with some recommendations for a particular situation. So, or essay and report same or different? One might be confused that a report is an essay. You might think like a report is nothing but another form of an essay. Is it true? Let us see. But they cannot be used interchangeably. No, you cannot use them as similar. Reports are more likely to be need for business, scientific and technical subjects in workplace. No, it is fact based, and it is for business and for workplace, very professional. Whereas an essay is more of an academic writing. Essay is associated with academics, whereas a report is associated with profession. Essay presents argument and reasoning, whereas report concentrates only on facts. An essay could be creative or imaginative, but a report cannot be. Report cannot be creative or imaginative, whereas essay, it depends on the imagination and creativity of a writer, whereas report, it explains only the facts that were found during the project. So let us see a few examples for report writing. Now it can be included in memos, minutes of a meeting, lab reports, book reports, progress reports, justification reports. A few more examples could be like project reports, progress reports, technical reports. All these are under report writing. Even annual reports that are presented in schools and colleges, they are also examples for report writing. It states the facts of what happened in the previous year so that you can have an idea about the organization or the company or college per se. So structure, like we discussed, there is no standard structure. It depends on the topic as well as the organization, but there is a rough outline on what are the basic necessities that you should have in a report. The first is the title page, the opening. So, the first section of the report with the title and date of submission, the very first page, and it should have the name of the person who created the report. It helps in the location of the desired report. When you are going to look for it in the future, the first page with the name will be handy for you to locate the file. Next comes the executive summary. It is like an abstract that summarizes the whole process in short form. It contains the overview of subject matters, methods of analysis and findings. In a crisp, in one page, the whole project or per se, anything on which the report is should be summarized in the first page. So it gives an overall idea about what the project is and what were the methodologies used and the conclusion arrived. Next is the table of content. The section lists the various divisions of the report with page numbers. It gives you the page number in which you can find a particular item. So it is very handy. It helps the readers to go through the section of their interest. Now, every reader may not be interested in the same idea. It is like the newspaper in which a few are more interested in politics, a few are interested in sports, a few in stories, a few in horoscope. So everyone, they'll go directly to that section. So that is what the table of content is about. It gives you the option to locate your part of interest in the report and go to it directly. Next is introduction, where the report gives an outline of the report structure. First, what are the things that you're going to find in this report? It helps the reader to understand what exactly the report is all about. Next is the content, the whole section, the detailed one. The content of the report is the detailed description of the process involved, how the project or how a particular issue was sorted out or how it gradually developed. That is what this content is about. It is divided into headings and subheadings that refers the content of each section, which gives a cohesive detail of the gradual development leading to the conclusion, how it started, how it gradually developed, and what was the conclusion arrived at. Now it should be cohesive. There should not be any gaps for the readers to guessing. So it is very important section of a report. So after content is the conclusion. It talks about the findings and inferences that are drawn from the process. So what was the project about? Was it successful, or what were the findings out of it? It should be written with high seriousness and clarity, since it would be the focus of any reader. There is no reader who would skip conclusion. So this is the section that talks about the findings, whether the project was successful or not, and what could be made out of it. So it will be the place where all the readers would be interested in. So special attention should be given to this section to be clear and cohesive as well as direct. Next comes the recommendation. So you might think, or with conclusion everything is over, but in report it is not like that. So conclusion gives you the finding. Recommendation is a place where you can say how can it be done in a better way. It indicates any further work that needs to be done or suggests an alternative that can best solve the problem. It could say instead of doing things in a particular way, it could be done in a different way, which could be cost efficient for the company. So that is where recommendation is. It also can suggest a different kind of research which could be more fruitful. So that is what recommendation is. And then comes references and appendix. It gives a list of reference material consulted during the research for the report. What were the things that you were referring for in order to come to a conclusion? That is what reference is. It also gives the information that supports your analysis, which may include figures and graphs. Your findings that are pictorial will be added in the appendix. So students, let us see a few exercises. I'll be stating you a few questions which you should whenever you have time go through it and try to write a report on the following questions. First one, write a progress report on a project. It could be anything, group project or individual project. I leave that up to you. You imagine yourself doing a project and I want you to write a progress report on that. Write a technical report about the survey conducted by your firm. It could be anything and leave that to you. It is a survey done by your company. I want you to summarize it. Next, write a report on the recent celebration in your company. A celebration that you think must have done in a company. I want you to write a report on that. Write a report on customer satisfaction survey conducted by your company. Here you have a specific survey which is about the customer satisfaction done by your company. I want you to write a report about it. Remember the various parts of a particular report. You could change it slightly, but the content should be organized in that particular way. It should start with the title page and end with references and appendixes. If not that, at least you should include recommendations. That is how a proper report should be concluded. So I wish you all the best for the exam. Keep learning. Thank you.